as the old saying goes, you never know. About the proverbial bus or winning the lottery, people just,
Which brings us to the audit.
yeah, and as I said, we're waiting for the auditor to get back to us. Audit has to be finalized by December 31st. But everything's been approved by the LCG, the contract and everything else. We're just waiting for her to give us a list. CLA thinks they've already prepared pretty much everything she would need, so.
With the CLA, is anything being stored off-site or is everything here?
What's on, it's in the cloud, our cloud version of OneDrive.
Or it's in that folder, it's in the file cabinet.
That's all I have.
Anything else? Any questions for Lori? Okay. So that brings us to the mayor report. We were requested to have a proclamation for Constitution Week. So I will proclaim September 17th. So that will be starting next week, the Constitution Week. It marks the 238th anniversary of the drafting of the Constitution of the United States of America. So proclaim the week of September 17th through the 23rd as Constitution Week, and ask our citizens to reaffirm the ideals the framers of the Constitution had in 1787 by diligently protecting the freedoms guaranteed to us through this guardian of our liberties, remembering that lost rights may never be regained. Okay. And then for item B, there was a typo in the senior nutrition interlocal agreement. The amount of, it said in one place it said 2 residents, in one place it said 3. It was 2 residents that we are funding, so they reissued with that typo removed. I just wanted to keep y'all updated. And then update on the stormwater detention. As you know, we have recently received an offer from Aston to purchase the land where the stormwater ponds are sitting on. And that land is deed restricted to the stormwater ponds, or will be. So there will be an upset bid. The upset bid will be published as soon as Amy can get it in the Enquirer Journal. And then we will probably have to meet if we receive any upset bids. And if we don't, to accept the potential offer on that property. So there may be a special meeting in the next. But just to know that that land will be, only can be used for stormwater. So I don't know how many people will actually be interested in making an upset bid. And then that's all for me. So I'll go to the code enforcement report. As you see, they did start to include some pictures of the closed properties, the abated properties. But he did send me a work order. So we are getting to the point, hopefully this week, they're going to be having some hearings and meetings here with some of the, not offenders, violators, this week. And I did get a work order for a property. It is the property, I think it is the property formerly known as Southern Whimsy, that it is overgrown and they've received no response to their letters to clean up the property. So we did get a work order, and Village has to decide how we're going to move forward with these. So now that it's gone to the spot that it needs a work order, do we want to pay someone to clean up the property and put a lien on it, or do we want to proceed with civil penalties? We've done both. So I just need to know what council wants to do moving forward.
What's the pros and cons of each?
I guess with the work order, it gets cleaned up. But then we have to pay all the, I guess we have to pay to have it cleaned up, and then we have to pay to put a lien on it. Civil penalty is the same. George, we'd have to pay to go through the court process, right? So
Ultimately, the
So,
What kind of response have we got from Laura, if any?
from the who?
Owner.
No.
Because he was the same person that came here and wanted us to specifically not, because he wanted to develop that property, it was his parents, and they left it to him. He said no response at all.
No response.
Yeah, we should probably send it.
But not just for this property, like, I think there are a couple other ones that are gonna soon get to this work order point. I think there are two.
But George, here's one for you. That property was originally a gas station, and there is a buried gas tank on that property, and it also backs up to a creek. I don't know if that tank was, I think the county inspected that tank about 4 years ago, maybe 5 years ago, and did a report on it. Do we want to start taking over responsibility for property that may or may not have hazardous waste issues?
I mean, it's an underground storage tank?
Underground storage tank, the kind that,
You would just be going on the property to clean stuff up, right? I mean, you're not like
Right,
You're
just
not-
to mow and, just to mow.
commandeering the property such that you, I mean, obviously I wouldn't dig into the ground and disturb the tank or anything that's in this groundwater.
cosmetics.
Yeah, I mean, I think, but pulling debris off of the site, not gonna get you in a situation where you're violating DEQ's rules or the Department of Environment.
If it's just clean up, can we use a bulldozer?
I mean,
Knock the whole thing
I
down.
don't think so. I don't think so.
maybe not that.
Well, the building's about to fall down anyway, so I'm sure that's why it's never been
That becomes a different problem then, doesn't it?
exactly. Well,
So I just
But
need,
if
so,
we, just a question, so
Sure.
if we go the route, we do the work order, we pay Alliance Code Enforcement would either do the work or find somebody to do the work.
no, we would find somebody. So once they get to the
They don't
work
find
order
anybody.
point, we would find it.
It's up to us. They're saying this needs to be done. So we would find somebody to clean it up, and then we put a lien on it, which is a legal process. And then after that, we're done. Whereas if we go the route of civil penalties, there's multiple steps and hearings in that process. Am I understanding that correctly?
Well, you ultimately, if you're doing the civil penalties, they're accumulating, you have your fines and civil penalties accumulate. You file a suit to have those determined to be enforceable.
Right.
And then that judgment becomes a lien on the property. And then you have to enforce the lien through a sheriff's sale. I mean, ultimately, you're going through a position where if you're trying to enforce a lien, whether it's through either procedure, you're ultimately asking the sheriff to go sell the property or track down any bank accounts or other personal property that.
But if it's not an abandoned property, in theory, you put a lien on it, they go to sell it, we get our money.
Yeah, the lien, a judgment lien would last for 10 years without having to be renewed. So, yeah, if somebody goes to, someone goes to sell the property, you'd have to get it paid off.
Isn't there another option? I mean, both of those are pretty intense.
And we've tried both to varying degrees of success on each side.
I mean, the only other option is to sue and ask the court to issue an injunction to require the property owner to clean it up, which we've also tried.
Yes, Gordon?
I'm sorry to interrupt. Are we talking about the Brown gas station down here in the Brown Building? I may have some information on that.
Will you talk to me after
Yes, ma'am.
or email me?
Yes, ma'am.
So, I mean, really, if you take the specific property out, we need to provide Alliance with some direction on what to do when they get to the work order portion of the process. Do we want to find somebody to clean it up and put a lien, or do we want to move forward with civil penalties? They said those are our two options.
Civil penalty seems easier from a paperwork perspective, and, you're gonna have to create a scope of work if you decide to go with the other option. And, we talked about the underground tank, things like, well, are we gonna trim trees, or are we going to cut trees down? Are we going to what level is it going to be to our satisfaction, or to their satisfaction?
So, Mike says civil penalties. Anybody else have a thought?
There's pros and cons to both.
Nobody's, has anybody reached out, physically?
He puts I know they've had letters, and he typically hangs door hangers on any offending properties.
And the owner lives next door supposedly.
Right, he's
So
former
it's
law
not like
enforcement.
it's far
Either,
away.
is he current law enforcement or is he former law enforcement? Do you know?
It's current.
Are you talking about the property owner at the gas station?
Brian Hickey.
He's retired.
Retired? Okay.
Not that long ago, I saw a car there.
So, but just take the property, take the specific property out of it, and just say how we would like to move forward. Because I think there are two that will, this one and one other that are at the work order point of the process.
To Deb's point, one thing I would ask is for them to tell us their methods of contact. So,
Okay.
like they're hanging a hang tag on a property, and in this case, there's nothing, it's a vacant building. So do they then pursue using the county tax property records to get contact information to send notifications there too?
Okay.
Just like to know, kind of to Deb's point, that.
If you're hanging a door hanger on a door that nobody ever
Or
goes
vacant
through,
building.
or in a building that nobody goes to versus the house next door where the owner lives, that's a different.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was wondering. If they could just tell us what that is.
Okay. I can verify their contact process and how exactly it has gone to these properties. And then just, Mike, do you want to make a motion to move forward with civil penalties on any properties?
I'd like to hear from
There's
the
actually
council
three.
first to figure out if this is, one, a time-sensitive issue, or if there's more questions that need to be answered before we can make a decision one way or the other.
This is a time-sensitive issue. You didn't want any, you wanted to continue forward with this code enforcement process, and there are three, it says work orders are being submitted for 3 properties with no property owner response. So I can verify the ways these properties have been contacted to make sure that's really been giving them a fair shot, and they just need to know if they put in a work order to us, what we're gonna do.
I don't think we've heard from everybody.
I feel
I
like
just-
it's one thing to go in and cut the grass or to remove the things we were doing a year ago, a year and a half ago. We would send someone in, clean up all the junk, remove all the junk from the yard. And that seemed to have been pretty successful and everything else. So in a way, it feels like we do that and then put a lien on the property to recoup the cost. And then it's just kind of a waiting game. And if they do it again, we do it again, we put another lien on it.
So if the person, what if the person says, okay, I'll pay you what it costs? Is that an option? I mean, when you put a lien on somebody's property, that's basic, I mean,
Well, I mean, they're going to be told, that's what I would assume, there's going to be a notification to say, failure to do this will result in us doing the work and putting a lien on your property. And that's their time to resolve it. Not after we've cleaned it up, to say, oh, no, now I want to pay you.
Well, also, there's a difference between mowing the grass, which is going to grow back, or removing garbage that
Or
was,
cars.
or cars that some of the properties have had issues with.
well, when that snow cone guy was there last year, I think it was last year, he cleaned the property up pretty good. He did a really good job. I don't know that there's anything that really needs to be cleaned up on it except some of those weeds sticking around the outside. What have you identified as being, there's no abandoned cars
But
there?
I kind of to the mayor's point is I think it's irrespective of the property or what needs to be done.
Yeah, we have
just
3.
need to have a policy of how we want to approach it. Because when we get caught up in what's this property and it's this situation and that situation, we always waffle.
Starting on 9/3, several of these properties are accumulating $50 a day penalties. So they just need to know from us, we have 3 properties at the work order stage. Are we going to find somebody to clean them and put a lien, or are we going to move forward with civil penalties?
I'm not comfortable with either one of those. I'm sorry, I'm just not.
Yeah, but I had flashbacks to one time we had an issue with this a couple of years ago, and your concern was that it was a veteran that was specifically going to have his property forcibly cleaned up, and you weren't really in favor of that. And I understand the compassion, but at the same time, there's got to be a middle ground here. So, we haven't heard from you.
I'm in favor of keeping the traction going that we've already accumulated with this group. I mean,
Yeah,
I would
I'm
say,
all for progress.
yes, I would say, let's move forward. Look, I mean, I'd prefer the quickest and cheapest route. George, which would be cheapest?
I don't know, probably neither one is necessarily cheaper in the long run. I mean, I guess if you're not actually doing the work, I suppose that's probably cheaper. I mean, it doesn't get the place cleaned up.
Well, David, is your concern the expense or is your concern the results?
Both.
Okay. Because the cheaper will be to do nothing and just start fining them, but that doesn't really resolve the problem. Where it gets resolved and somebody goes over there with a truck and just starts throwing stuff in the back of the truck, cleaning the place up, and then we just send them a bill.
So the two options, Madam Mayor, are do the work order, we clean it up, file a lien, or either civil penalties and still file a lien. I'd say we do the first. That'd be my recommendation.
And we're sure that he knows.
Well, it doesn't matter, there's 3 properties.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
David, you said you preferred to clean it up and then do the lien?
yeah.
I will talk with him about the contact process for the 3 properties that have gotten to this point.
I think you do want to ensure that the owner, that all attempts have been made to notify and inform the owners. I'll make a motion. I make a motion that we proceed with a work order to clean up any properties identified by the Alliance Code Enforcement, and after the cleanup, to put a lien against the property.
A second.
All right, any further discussion? All in favor? So 3 opposed and 1. 3 and 1. All right, I will talk with Joe,
Opposed.
and confirm contacts and send y'all an update. Okay?
Will that be before any action's taken
Yes.
on the property? Okay.
I'll talk
I
with
think
him.
that's fair.
Because we have to hire the landscaper. So I will talk with him about contact before moving forward. All right, then that brings us to,
Well, can I ask one final question on that? If it's a landscaping issue, is it going to be an ongoing landscaping issue? Like they're going to come and mow monthly or,
There isn't really any grass out there to mow.
well,
there's a lot
whether
of
it's
stuff to chop
weeds.
down.
Okay, and I know we're getting toward the end of the season and it's just not growing, but we're going to be addressing this again in spring.
All right. I think it's a case by case, right? Like they let it get bad again and we gotta do it again. So, all right, stay tuned. We'll continue working on this. We all know code enforcement seems to be the headache that never stops. All right.
Well, I appreciate the progress.
They've been doing a nice job. Dogwood Park report. John is not here. Amy, do you want to speak?
The only update I know of is Dave has started working on the golf course, and so far I've heard that there's a lot of excitement. Mike had informed me today, I think there's the pump controller is broken.
I spoke with Dave Rizal over the weekend, our new part-time park person. He said that there was a problem with the pump, that he was contacting John through text messages, and my recommendation would be to at least inform the gentleman who takes care of the pump. And most of the time, he'll just come by and reset it or whatever it has to be done. But, you know, I told him just whatever John thinks through text messages from London, which is where he's at. And then the only other question I had that I spoke to Amy about before the meeting was, were we still on gate repairs? And I think she told me they were supposed to come out last Thursday. Can't confirm that though.
Yes, I've not heard anything.
I know they were coming out. The gate should have been fixed last Wednesday. Here's his update. The gate should have been fixed on September 3rd. The RFP plans have been revised by Amy Black and sent out to potential contractors for bid. Construction of mini golf underway, lots of interest from park visitors, aiming for completion at the end of October. And repairs were made to leaks in the town hall irrigation system, and irrigation times are reduced, so hopefully the water bill will go down.
And one more thing regarding the gates, a neighbor, one of the neighboring houses had called to express her concerns, to tell us the gate was, it seems to be always open, always broken or whatnot. We spoke to the deputies, or I think we spoke to the deputy with her. Said anytime, if y'all drive by and notice the gate's open, no matter, sun's down, gate's open, call 911. I know people are hesitant to do that when it's not really an emergency, but this lady had said that there's people in there all the time at nighttime, so partying and whatnot. So.
Amy, was there any update? I know John's not here, but did you know of any update as far as the flock cameras, whether John got access to those?
No, I don't think he has yet.
Yeah, he's at time. All right, so events and programs committee report.
I'm sorry, one last thing before Joel, you get up here. On the, what Joel, you spoke about, maybe Parks and Rec would be the best place to put it. Are we going to be sending a letter to the congressman requesting some assistance with the grants, or not?
We didn't add it to the agenda, so,
I thought Parks and Rec would be the perfect place to put it. If we're going to move forward, we can move forward. If we're not going to move forward, I'd like a decision one way or the other.
I think we should. Anything we can do to help would be great.
I think it's irresponsible for one of the richest counties in the state, one of the richest municipalities in the state, to go to put pressure on, to get money from FEMA when FEMA's not been able to fund, the state's not been able to fund to resolve everything for Western North Carolina after Hurricane Helene. It's been over a year and there's still people without houses or places to live or roads to drive on. I, in good conscience, cannot say we should have priority.
Valid point.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about that.
So if Representative Harris is so anxious to help FEMA, perhaps he can help Western Carolina.
Agreed.
okay.
There's
So
your answer, Joel.
We're not hoping to get the
We're just waiting. The good news is, we have time. They haven't put pressure on us, and we have started to save money in our budget, $250,000 a year.
So, to follow up on that, if we were to get the grant, let's say next month, next year, whatever, should we feel bad about taking the money?
No. Does the process work? I feel like the difference is the process isn't working, and so to go and to put pressure on a broken process doesn't feel right to take advantage of that.
If I forget to take the trash out at night, my wife wakes me up and says, hey, you didn't take the trash out. It's just a reminder, hey, I didn't take the trash out. I think a letter from the congressman would be more of a, hey, is there anything you can do with this? It's a reminder, this is something that's on your desk that needs to either be,
I just think it's irresponsible.
Signed or not signed?
unconscionable how things have been handled, and I want no part of it.
try, Joel.
irresponsible how things have been handled.
With Western North Carolina.
Oh, with that, okay.
Hurricane Helene.
Okay. Well, I agree with Mike.
As
We
a
need to,
reminder? As a reminder, or as a push, or,
It just is a process.
He
I mean,
doesn't, a letter from the congressman is not going to, I think, make the decision one way or the other.
Yeah.
It'll just remind them, hey, you've got this sitting on your desk, either sign it or throw it away.
and that's it, that's what he's there for, to help his constituents. So, who would write that letter?
Well, you'd have to make a motion first to get it written and represented by council. It would have to be an approved letter to represent the body.
And we can't do that tonight.
Sure we could.
If you make a motion and it passes.
All right, I make a motion that we write a letter asking for support from the congressman and to get the FEMA grant.
Letter of recommendation.
Letter, yeah, whatever.
Whatever you want to call it. I'll second that.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All right, so all in favor? Opposed?
The mayor gets to decide.
We just wanted to give you a title.
Yeah.
One way or the other.
As it is not a pressing issue, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I feel like the dam is not hurting anything right now. And we're going to wait and find out what's going on. FEMA's got their hands full helping other people. And
Well, if we're not really serious about getting the money, why don't we withdraw the request?
why would we withdraw? Why wouldn't we just continue to wait?
Then why wouldn't we have
Send a letter.
a little extra push if we want the, I mean, I don't understand, this is apples and oranges. I'm not sure I understand the problem.
Well, we had 2 yeses, 2 noes, and a tiebreaker of no.
So leave it.
So, Rugby
Leave it.
baseball, 3 up, 3 down.
Move on.
All right, go ahead, Joel.
This is not my time to talk about comments about motions, okay?
Yeah.
Although I really, really do. So good evening, Council and Mayor again. Now I am the chair of the Events and Programs Committee. And I'm speaking for the committee and giving you guys obviously an update. Regarding the specific events, we'll get into some of the motions that are on the agenda in just a moment. But speaking to a couple of the different events that are coming up, we have the candidate forum that is coming up at the end of the month on the 30th of September, at 6:30. We have been in contact with one of the radio stations that we were looking to possibly broadcast this in prime time. And they are in conversations with Aaron specifically, and it sounds like they likely will do that. Me and Aaron are putting a list of topics and questions together for said person to discuss and talk about with the candidates and with the mayor at that forum discussion.
So the radio station host will be the moderator?
Yes, correct. If they do it, then yes. If otherwise, as we discussed last month, then it will be myself. And if for whatever reason I'm not here, then it would be Aaron. So that's kind of the line of
And
succession.
what experience do y'all have as moderators?
What is it?
What experience do you and Aaron have as moderators?
None. Zero. Not at all. But I was asked by the council last month, and I was asked by the committee multiple times, and I'm willing to not do it if the council or the committee did not want me to do it.
Mayor Fuller, Erin did say at one of the meetings that she does have experience moderating too.
Oh, she has? Okay.
Yes, so.
If she wants to do it, if you guys want her to do it, that's fine with me. I have no hard feelings. At all. Additionally, the committee also decided to cancel the fall bash that was scheduled for October 18th. And the committee decided to substitute those and allocate those funds for an extravagant 250th birthday party for America event that would be in the spring. I've already been in contact with Sunny Day Markets, assuming that the event will go off well, obviously in December with Coco and Carol's, that they would be able and willing to do some type of event and host that for us. Our next community conversations is Mr. Rupert Medford from the NC Wildlife, and he will be discussing coyotes on October 1st. I know there was one Wednesday. I don't know, Deb, you said you were here, correct, for that one?
Mm-hmm.
How did that go? Because I was out here, unfortunately.
It went pretty well. There was like about 7 people came,
Okay.
and she did a really good job. People were very interested. So yeah, it went well.
I missed that. I meant to go to that. I missed that.
And then regarding some motions, the committee has decided to propose a community holiday decorating contest. The idea is that it would work similar to the television show The Great Christmas Light Fight that's on ABC usually during the holidays. This was actually an idea from Amy, so she gets a lot of credit for this. The residents of the village would be eligible to win this competition, but how it would work is that the residents would apply to be a part of the competition, and then they would decorate their house, generally with Christmas lights and other things. And the members of the public would be able to vote for who they thought decorated their house the best. The winners would receive some type of trophy at the Cocos and Carols event, where we would announce the winners. And the residents would have have their house decorated by December 1st, and that the voting would run through December 1st all the way through December 19th. I don't know if this is a motion to approve, because we have another idea for a motion that, would this to be no motion to approve this event or no?
Yes, council will have to approve it.
Yes, okay. And then we have a couple of name ideas that we want the council to decide on. But would you guys be willing to have us have that type of event? Or, I guess not really an event, but a competition, I guess.
And the idea was that if it takes off every year, it would grow
Yeah.
a little bit each year.
And the voting will be done on Facebook?
So we were thinking about doing some type of voting through a QR code and some type of website thing. One thing that would be a little bit difficult is it probably would be hard to restrict it to only residents of the village of Wesley Chapel, but having multiple people voting it again and again and again could also be difficult. So we would have to try to figure out a way best to do that, or possibly voting at the event. That could also be an option. And any
It
other
wouldn't
ideas?
just be residents participating though, and
Yes.
even, and available to us too, because I was wondering if we should exclude ourselves from entering, but
No, I want to vote.
the committee decided, to participate in the contest.
Oh, participate, I thought you meant to vote.
Participate in the
Vote.
contest, so
Participate.
they decided to include everybody, so if Mayor Fuller or council wants to enter your houses, you're welcome to.
That's okay, really.
No exclusions.
So, you're asking council to make a vote to approve this event?
Or competition rather, because it would be merged with the Coco and Carols. That's where the final announcement would commence.
So council, is there a motion?
I think it's a great idea. I'll make a motion that we give them a chance to do this and see if it balloons year by year like we were discussing. And every year we get more and more participants. And the only thing that we try to figure out is whether we should have, a small little trophy, maybe a coffee mug,
Or box of coffee mugs.
or spend a little bit more money on a nice trophy that moves each year. If this turns into a multi-function, annual event. Like, you get to keep the trophy in your house until next year, unless you do it again.
Who's going to get these trophies back?
Yeah, I think they should keep them. I think they should keep the trophy.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, then it's going to be a smaller, less expensive trophy versus something that you would rotate through the year.
Well, I second your
I
motion.
know Mike Cameron's over there talking about what he's going to, or he's going to put in his front yard. They make a great 20-foot Christmas tree that they're going to sell at Lowe's.
Okay.
You can put that in the front yard.
Next question, do you want a tasteful trophy or a tacky trophy?
Tasteful.
Like Clark years old or,
No, tasteful.
Well,
I was thinking.
throw out some of the names that you were thinking.
Well,
Wait, wait,
we'll
wait,
discuss
wait,
the
wait.
names.
We have a motion and a
Yes.
second. Is there any further discussion about having the event? Having the,
Competition.
I think I know the answer, but any cost for this event? And if so, would that be funded out of your budget?
Yeah, it would be funded out of our budget. The cost that we're thinking about is maybe like spending some funds to, or have the
As long as
folks,
it's out of your
yeah,
budget?
it would come out of our budget. Yes, correct.
And the trophies don't cost as much as.
Yeah, that would be the main cost.
They're really,
Yeah, they're not that
It would
expensive.
be, as I said before, it would be mixed with the Coco and Carols event.
okay. So we have a motion and a second. All in favor? All right.
Stupendous.
and-
Now, for naming the event. So obviously, we were slightly concerned with the Great Christmas Light by naming that, because it would be copyright stuff and whatnot. So a couple of ideas that we came up with includes the Battle of the Bulbs,
I like it.
Twinkle Town Showdown, Merry and Bright Face Off, and finally, Bright Nights in the Village.
I like the first two.
I like Battle of the Bulbs.
I like Bright Nights in the Village.
Battle of the Bulb. What was the second one?
The second one was Twinkle Town Showdown.
I like the first one. Battle of the Bulb. That is cute.
Go with that one?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's cute.
Got it.
So raise your hand if you like Battle of the Bulbs.
Okay, we'll go with that one. All right. Now, in your packet was included our updated social media statement, mission statement, policy things. Last month, if I recall, we discussed that you wanted something more with frequency, and so we did add a little sentence at the end there. And I know it was discussed, and I didn't know if you guys had discussion amongst yourselves about where this should be added, whether it should be to our charter, or it should become a formal policy for the village possibly. Obviously, that's up to you guys. But that's what we approved at the last committee meeting. And then we also have a approved weather policy, but we can discuss that in a moment. Any thoughts on that?
I know you worked hard on that, and there was many revisions
Yes.
that went through. I mean, you put a lot of time and effort and thought into it, so thank you.
My only question is, we had a previous social media policy, Deb.
It was Facebook.
It's just Facebook? Okay. So would we, if we approve this, would we wrap Facebook in here and now just have this one? Or would we
Because
have
this
it
is a
separate?
mission statement, it's not really the policy.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, they go hand in hand. I would think they go hand in hand. Yeah, this is good.
You want to read it out loud for the
I don't have it in
peeps?
front of me,
All right.
but sorry. I think I wish I printed
Do you
that.
want me to read it out loud?
Yeah, read it out loud.
I'll
Deb.
read it.
Go ahead.
Our aim is to educate, inspire, and collaborate with the community at large via social media by curating and sharing local event-focused information. We will enhance awareness of quality recreation opportunities throughout the village of Wesley Chapel. Utilization of social media platforms for promotion of local events can connect and enrich the residents of our community. The objective is to post once a week and at a minimum once a month on both Village, Facebook, and Instagram.
So what do y'all think? You want to adopt it and it becomes our village media post, not just our village social media statement, not just our program, events and programs committee statement?
Yeah,
Should be the village statement.
yeah.
And probably in the broader book of procedures, policies, or whatever.
Yeah.
What we're doing, this is our missions and what we want to accomplish, and the policy of how we want to go about it.
So do I have a motion from council to that effect?
I motion that we accept the social media mission statement submitted by the Events and Programs Committee.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Unanimous? Thank you, Joe.
Yep, and then finally, we have the approved weather policy. This was also drafted by our committee member Wade Todd. This was, came from a lot of what he does with John Lemke, of course, and their 485 band and whatnot. And so this is kind of what he wrote up. The committee did approve it. We did make some of the exceptions for non-Wesley Chapel event coordinators. This would not apply to folks such as Sunday Day Markets or any similar organizations in the future, since they have their own rain policy, and we wouldn't want to intrude on that, as we discussed kind of last month. You guys kind of agreed with that. And then any special circumstances determined by committee leadership, we haven't come up with necessarily anything, but if there were to, then that's what would be one of the exceptions. And yeah, any comments about that? If you want us to reconsider anything, we can go back to the drawing board a little bit.
Now, again, I know you went through many revisions on this, and I know you spent a lot of time there. And I think it's been looked at by 4 or 5 different people already.
Yeah.
I think it was well done.
Thank you.
Well, I beg to differ.
Okay.
So under the cancellation criteria.
Yes.
Number 1, daytime, evening events. Events to be canceled greater than 40%. Decision will be communicated no later than 4 hours before the events start for daytime and evening events. Morning events. Events to be canceled, significant chance of rain, 60% the evening before. And then number 3, decision will be made by 8 p.m. the night before and communicated by 8. What's going to be made at 8 p.m.? Because you listed out a decision criteria for daytime and evening and one for morning. So what's number 3?
So for the daytime and evening, that's for if an event was to happen in the afternoon or evening, and then the morning events, so like, for example, the car show would be that.
Well, the morning event is number 2.
Correct.
And so it says the night before, so is number 3 only related to morning events?
Probably.
So
I
it
think
should
that-
not- it should be a 2B.
It should be 2B, yes. yes.
Okay, because I was like,
We
this
can make
makes
a
no sense
modification
to
of
me.
that for sure.
Okay.
Yes.
The only other thing I was thinking about, when we talked about rescheduling procedure, is should the committee consider determining rain dates whenever they picked original dates? So that you start off with a rain date instead of saying, we'll determine a rain date later and then everybody forgets about it.
Okay. We
Right,
could
you know what I'm
definitely-
saying?
Yeah. I know that we did that with the Coco and Carols, for example. And so, yeah, we can definitely.
Yeah,
put
so that way it's
Yeah,
not
we
just
can
sometime
modify
in the
that.
future and people are like, oh, and they go, no, now it's going to be the 15th, okay.
Yeah, we can modify that and then
Yeah.
send it back to you guys, for sure.
Any further comments on this?
Would we be able to approve this with the revision? Or
I think we can wait till it's revised since we
Yeah.
don't have an event coming up.
Correct, yeah, it's not necessarily time sensitive. So, I mean, the only events that we have are all indoor events, such as the forum, as I said before, and the community conversations, so that wouldn't be impacted by any type of precipitation unless it's like a hurricane.
Snow.
Or something. Yes, snow. But I don't think that we're gonna be having snow in the next month. That is quite unlikely.
All right,
I would love it though, don't get me wrong, I love snow. But anyway,
any further questions for Joel?
and then our next committee meeting, if you'd like to join us, is the 25th of September, so. Anything else?
Yeah, with the, what was the Christmas event called?
The Battle of the Balls.
Battle of the
is what we're
Balls.
deciding.
Are you going to plan on incorporating sunny day marketing for any of that, or that?
Yeah, absolutely. Since they have their large social media presence, and we can definitely, as I said before, the giving of and the final voting would happen at the event. So that'll definitely be mixed in with the marketing, and I'll make sure that that is.
Okay, well, because if you're planning on getting sunny day markets involved with that, you need to do that sooner than later.
Yep.
And maybe they can help you with a way to prevent somebody from multiple voting.
Yes. Give us some
They
ideas,
have a
for
way-
sure.
Some ideas
Yes.
on that. But also, I'd like to see them communicate a little bit better with the committee.
Yeah.
We said this at the last meeting. Don't care who, as long as
Yeah.
it's one person, and then that person shares the information out
Yeah.
to the rest of the committee, who then shares it off with council, so they know
Exactly.
what's going on.
Yep.
Okay?
Anything else?
All right, any further questions for Joel? Thank you, Joel.
Yep, you're welcome.
All right, that brings us to the planning department report.
So we're bringing Brookmead back in front of you again. Sorry. The Brookmead Development Performance Bond release in front of you. Again, I have contacted everybody, told them, encouraged them to get together. And I don't know if they have, but
But we did also speak with George,
yes.
and, I mean, I don't want to speak for George, but if the authorities who are NCDOT says that the bonds are good to be released, who is the village to say that they're not ready to be released?
I mean, yeah, that's just of it. I mean, if the criteria for the release of the bond have been satisfied in the eyes of those responsible for inspecting those criteria, then I think you have to release the bond.
Okay, so we need and all the criteria have been met, right?
Yes, NCDOT and the engineers have been out there and signed off on all the work.
So,
You need a motion based on legal counsel's recommendations and advice. Motion that we release the bonds.
Second.
Any further discussion?
Were there any major outstanding issues that, because there's no one here from the subdivision specifically, and I think, speaking before the meeting, there was somebody had wanted to say something or did say something and then withdrew or?
No, I had emails, just questioning if it was coming before council tonight.
So they knew?
So they knew,
Okay.
all parties have known, all parties
Just want
have
to go on record and say.
everybody's contact information, and I
And no one's
offered
here.
up Village Hall as a meeting place.
And it can still be a meeting place. If they get to the point that they want to sit down and talk, they're absolutely welcome here.
We'll make sure we give the residents every opportunity to voice their opinion.
Yes, they knew when and where that it was coming before council tonight.
So we have a motion and a second. All in favor? Unanimous? All right, and then other?
We did have a kickoff meeting last week for the Union County Critical Intersection. This one is for Wesley Chapel is going to be the intersection of Newtown and Lester Davis Road. Like I said, we're still in the very preliminary stages. They're just kind of,
I didn't think that was the one we wanted.
that was the next one on the list.
I think it's the next one, because we've addressed Billy Howie. we've
Right.
Oh,
addressed
okay,
Tommy
okay.
Cuthbertson.
You're right. I'm
We've
sorry.
addressed these.
Yes.
I just had to turn off Billy Howie today, so it's fresh in my mind.
Yeah.
We're running
So,
out of intersections.
We're still in the very beginning stage. Just want to let you know we have had a kickoff meeting. We're going to be meeting. It's the engineering firm, RK&K, the county, DOT, CRTPO, and then us, Indian Trail, and Unionville, and Monroe are all a part of this. So we're meeting monthly to get updates on where the engineering firm is on it.
Any questions for Emily?
I had a conversation with Emily just before the meeting. My general frustration is the new subdivision going in on Cuthbertson Road. We were told originally that it was going to be no certificates of occupancy were going to be given until the road was improved. Then they changed it. They said no certificates of occupancy would be done before phase 3 of the development. Now the county's saying that they're going to go ahead and give certificates of occupancy for phase 3 because the developer is delayed because of problems with the utilities. And they've known about this, not for weeks, not for months, but for years. And they just keep coming up with a different excuses why they keep selling the properties without doing the infrastructure work. And it just doesn't sit well with me. And I wish there was something from a legal perspective that we could do to say, look, you guys keep saying you're going to do this, and then you don't follow through. So, George, is there anything that we can do to maybe say, look, you guys keep saying you're going to do this, and then you keep not doing it?
Well, it's actually item 11.4,
Well,
which is actually 11.3.
all right.
So,
I mean, I don't know the details of the approval or what was, if there were a circumstance where their development had certain requirements and timelines as a part of their, conditional approval that.
And there's zoning and everything else.
Yeah, I don't know if that is the case. So there'd have to be an analysis of what the requirements were that were placed on it, but if they're bound by a certain timeline that they haven't met, then the question is, well, what are the repercussions of that?
The only thing we can hold over a developer is, for example, and you can speak to this as well, is something like whether we give them a certificate of occupancy for a property unless they meet these criteria. And then they don't meet that criteria, we still give them a certificate of occupancy.
but we
That's
can't
the-
hold anything over their head because we didn't give them the approval to do it to start with.
Right, I understand
It's
that.
not in our jurisdiction.
It affects our residents, and I think we should at least try to remind them of what the restrictions were when they approved this, and they just keep changing the rule, they keep changing the goal line. So it's, when people corner me in the grocery store or someplace out in public, they go, why does this keep happening? Why is this not getting improved? It started right when school let out for the summer. They said, okay, now they're going to improve the road. I'm like,
And do you tell them to call their county commissioner?
I do. I tell them, I said, it's not under our circumstances, but I was told, these are the rules. And then they changed the rules. Everybody was up in arms about this 8 months ago, and we said, okay, this is what's going to happen, and then that didn't happen. It makes us look bad.
I don't think it makes us look bad. It's the county.
Yeah, it's out of our jurisdiction.
We
have
can't
no
do
control.
anything.
And I think their best bet is to all call the
Oh, I-
planning.
What we
department
did to
and
help
show it to the
residents
commission.
was commit money to a roundabout,
Right.
which historically you are opposed to paying DOT bribes for roundabouts. So I am sorry,
I don't
but
have a
I think
problem.
we help residents by paying the bribe. I'm not so worried about the turn lane because I didn't approve it. So I will look forward to your next response when we vote for a bribe about paying funding for the DOT. I'll refer you back to tonight in this conversation where you want to help residents with the roads, so you'll pay for the bribe for DOT.
The bribe is fine, provided that they give us a schedule and a cost. But if they're not going to tell us when the work's going to be done, and they're not going to tell us how much the work's going to cost, we just say we're going to pay 20% of whatever you tell us.
I
That's,
remind you, I got video, I remind you. Let me write that down. Let's see, 9/8. 8:18 p.m. All right, let's continue. Any more questions for Emily before we move to the infrastructure updates? Is there any update on McCoy Farms, like how they're going, everything going well?
Plan review, they're going through plan reviews.
Okay. Planning board chair, did you have a comment?
Yes, so today, well, the berm is up, they've cleared it. They had to reset the road. They put a culvert pipe, an 18-inch culvert pipe on Wesley Chapel Road. They had to cut it, the road again, make sure the engineers, the soil compaction was good, and then they're filling in the dirt, putting the gravel, and they're gonna pave the road over. And the deceleration lane going down Wesley Chapel Road into McCoy Farm has been cut and should be paved tomorrow with the curb going along the property, which is Val's property. That's the house with the great fence. So that's tomorrow's plan for McCoy's Farm.
Okay. All right, any further questions for Emily? So it leads us to the commercial center update. Do you have any updates there, Emily?
No, but their construction trailer out for public, so it's gonna start construction soon.
That's awesome. And then we go to NCDOT projects. I am pleased that hopefully next month we will strike number 1 off of our list. And I know, Mike, I heard you talking about it. So,
So Potter and Wesley Chapel Road is, what is it, 9/11 Thursday? The person, the supervisor there, is hopeful that'll be open on Friday, the 12th, but more likely will be on 9/15. So the roundabout is paved. I'm gonna call it the pork chop, because that's what I refer to it as. The piece of concrete that divides the road, because it's offset, is already laid in place. The mound is settled, and they were working on the curb, or I call it the curb, so they can do the final, paving of the roundabout. But it all looks good.
well, I know people are anxiously awaiting that. And Emily, I don't know of any updates on item number 2, the Highway 84. We've already talked about the developer lane at Newtown and Cuthbertson, and there are no updates to my knowledge about the Newtown and Cuthbertson roundabout. Okay. So any questions about items in number 11?
I'll just miss the roundabout being open. It's been really nice being closed.
Not for anybody living along 84.
No, it's been really nice for me going in and out of my subdivision.
So, as you know, there was a rumor spread on social media that the roundabout here would not be open until December. Obviously, that's untrue. They have moved forward on that. And the other issue is the bridge, I'll call it, at Newtown Road. The culverts are in, I'll call it the bridge abutments, the part that holds up the side, and they're trying to add the 8 feet of dirt ground roadway to try to level that off. That's approved. I don't see, that was scheduled to open up this week also. That doesn't seem to be at that stage right now. But it may be open pretty much, if you go by what they go by, sorry, that was wrong. Hopefully we should be open up by the end of next week. That's what the people that are trying to lay down the asphalt.
I'll be curious if they update the sign on the side of the road that says 9/11.
I talked to the office, and they also basically about the same timeline because of the rain. They were off about 2 weeks.
All right, so Deb, I'm going to turn it over to you to talk about Tree City USA.
Okie dokie. Tree City USA is a nationally recognized program that began in 1976.
Wow.
Yeah, we did good in the 70s. We don't remember much of it, but it is sponsored by the Arbor Day Foundation in partnership with the U.S. Forest Service and the National Association of State Foresters. If you are able to get this designation, which there are 4 criteria that you pass to do that, you're given 2 roadside signs and a Tree City USA flag and a wall plaque that commemorates your participation. It is an annual, you have to reapply every year. The applications are reviewed on the state level, but they're also reviewed by the Arbor Day Foundation on a national level. By being, this Tree City USA is just a way to show that the village is dedicated to the management of its urban forest while striving to provide beautiful landscapes and just to protect the tree canopies. The 4 standards you have to meet to become a Tree City USA is 1, you have to have a tree board or tree department. And I have 5 individuals who are willing to be on a tree board. So I guess I'll need approval to get a motion or approval to get on a tree board. Maybe? Anyway, we'll go to that later. You have to have a tree care ordinance, what we call them tree save. We've got that handled. The community forester program will have an annual budget of $2 per capita. And I know John spends, I think, an annual of $6,000 for the trees. That's what he estimated. And of course this year I think he had to spend twice that because of Helene and all that damage and stuff. But that would qualify. We spend money on our trees. So
$2 per resident, which we're close to 9,000, so it'd be $18,000.
no, well, I spoke to a woman in the state level, and she said it doesn't. She said if you spend any money at all,
Okay.
then you're fine.
So John's money spent taking out trees goes to help us keep trees.
Yes, sir. That's right. So, and also you have to have an Arbor Day proclamation and observation and observance, and we'll talk about that in a minute. So,
I do know that if we have a board, there are rules.
mhm.
So maybe if we move forward with A and B tonight, A's motion could include researching what it takes. Does it have to be a board or can it be a committee? To see which is the easiest to do.
The reason I was really pushing to get it done tonight was because I want to have our Arbor Day next month, the October 11th, because that's when they're really, other municipalities are also having it, that are doing this, like Marvin's doing it and Monroe's doing this, and they're picking around the same time.
So but we could do an Arbor Day event, celebration, proclamation, any of that. We could do any of that regardless of your Tree City,
And
right?
just hold off on the Tree City thing?
Or motion to get the process
A
started.
motion to start, yeah, that's
Okay.
what I was saying. A motion to start the process on Tree City and then go ahead and do the Arbor Day thing that you want.
Yeah, good.
And Arbor Day's October the 11th.
Yeah, yeah, and I'll tell you about that in just a second. It's, yeah, and I've come up with a program, you know, so one of the things that it will be included is to demonstrate how to correctly plant a tree. But, and you know, you'll be part of it too, as the mayor. Anyway, I've kind of done a sort of a preliminary thing on that. Yeah.
I'll make a motion for the Village of Wesley Chapel to pursue Tree City USA certification. And that we begin the process of understanding all the requirements and get everything in place to apply.
Okay. So you have a motion, is there a second?
I'll second.
David seconds. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Thank you, guys.
Unanimous?
So the Arbor Day. Arbor Day was created in 1872. I love history, I'm sorry. By this J. Sterling Morton. He moved to Nebraska in 1872, and there wasn't a tree to be found. So he started an Arbor Day. He wanted to have, that's how it all started. He was a journalist and a farmer and a politician. So anyway, that year, in April 10th of 1872, it was estimated that more than 1 million trees were planted because of his efforts that year. So that's pretty cool. Then in 1885, Arbor Day became a legal state holiday. And then by 1920, more than 45 states were celebrating Arbor Day, and school teachers were putting it in their, incorporated in the curriculum how to plant a tree. Today, Arbor Day celebrates by all 50 of our United States, usually in April, although some states observe Arbor Day on dates that would be aligned with more optimal planting conditions. This is what we're trying to do. So, yeah, that's pretty much it.
So I will proclaim the second Saturday in October, October 11th, 2025, as Wesley Chapel's first official Arbor Day. And also make a note that Trees Union is sponsoring a community tree planting at Dickerson Park at 9 a.m. in recognition of Arbor Day celebrations across the county.
Very good.
And you said you're going to talk to us about showing how to plant a tree?
At the sub, you'll have to come to the thing.
Will there actually be a tree planted?
Yeah, that's what I'm planning, to have a tree planted to show you how to plant it properly, how deep. Most people think you're supposed to put it really deep, and you're not. You're supposed to put it, yeah. And some of the other things I was thinking about doing is having, like, the urban forester present if we were to get our designation, would present the flag, you know, our Tree City flag. Welcome comments from our esteemed mayor. Reading the Arbor Day proclamation. And then, of course, we'd be sharing the importance of trees. Invite people to come that might have other memories of other older Arbor Day celebrations. And I'd love to be able to get Newtown Elementary to come out and, you know, do something with them. Now, who was the school that was singing that had all the greatest?
Wesley Chapel.
Okay, Wesley Chapel. And offer seedlings or gift certificates and plant a tree and workshop demonstration. So this is just a rough outline of what I would like to do.
Are you going to be able to have any saplings to give away or anything?
That's what I'm hoping to, but I'd have to find out where to get them. So,
Call the Egg Center.
I was going to say call the forestry department.
Okay. Yeah.
Keith might know.
Yeah.
Or the ag extension,
Yeah.
if that's what you're talking about, I don't know.
That sounds very exciting, Deb. Thank you for loving trees.
You're welcome.
Any further questions for Deb? All right. So that brings us to mayor and council comment.
Before we get to that, did we skip one under 8B, the pond dredging update?
The update was that Amy B had updated the RFP and it's been sent out to,
So still no date. Okay.
I'll start.
okay,
Because I was trying to get all of this done this month, so that we could do the Arbor Day thing next month, because it would be before our meeting. Amy has just really, bless her heart. I was just constantly trying to get stuff to her and calling her and texting her over the weekend and everything. And I just want to thank you for getting all this together and everything. That was really nice. I was panicking there for a minute.
Next.
No comments.
Next.
One question, and this is more of a question just for Amy. Are we still 100% on our new audio and visual equipment? Are we streaming now?
We're streaming tonight, yes.
Good.
But I think there might be a problem with the audio. I think we were live, but.
Because I noticed on the microphone is on. It wasn't on before.
Yes. So,
It looks like the video is live, the audio may not be.
Okay.
And
So this, I just know that we were having the last few months kind of on and off again issues, and I didn't want to, just wanted an update when we were live.
and just so you know, I'll say that we're probably gonna have problems for a while until we get it. There's gonna be so much troubleshooting involved because we're not gonna know until something happens how to fix it. So,
Yeah.
Is our IT guy not responding that installed it?
No. So we're looking, I'm getting ready to go to the owner of the company. Joel actually was a godsend. We sat down on Friday and he was able to figure a lot of
well,
it out.
with the help of AI, that was helpful, very
Yes.
helpful. Literally took a picture of the error code and it was like, oh yeah, this is how you fix it.
Yes.
Thank you, Joel.
And so then he came by today, this afternoon, and was a big help to Emily and I.
Yeah. And we'll try to figure this out after this. I don't know what it is, but.
Yes, so the person who installed it, I have not heard back from him, so now I'm ready to go to the owner of the company once we figure out what remaining issues, if we have any remaining issues.
All right. Thank you all for coming, and we are getting out before
Wow.
stated date and time of 8:43 p.m. So everyone have a nice evening. I'll take a motion to adjourn. All in favor?
Hi.